Self-doubt is a common human experience and can come from a variety of sources. Oftentimes, before we ever doubted ourselves, something or someone outside of us doubted us first, and we internalized it as true. Yes, to be human means that we all have limits on our time, energy, body, and capacity, but that does not erase the possibilities of who or what we can become, even if it takes longer than we expected. Today, I'm going to share a practice that you can use and return to when self-doubt creeps in, when your mind begins to imagine all of the worst-case scenarios before you even get started. I often return to this poem when I'm about to do something new, scary, or out of my comfort zone. It helps me shift from the what-ifs that come from fear to the what-ifs that come from possibility. So much of cultivating a healthy mind is noticing when our mind is taking us down a negative spiral, catching it, and offering ourselves a new perspective or pathway. I encourage you to bring to mind something you have coming up in the next week or month. An audition, a performance, a presentation, maybe an opportunity to have a difficult conversation with someone you love, maybe an interview, maybe you want to ask someone you like out on a date, or anything else that is typically out of your comfort zone. May this poem support you through that moment and shift your energy in a more positive direction. What if? For days where self-doubt takes over and I forget who I am. What if I allow myself to be a beginner? What if I trust the wisdom of my body? What if I pray for guidance and ask for help along the way? What if my visibility is needed? What if people are inspired by my light? What if my honesty is refreshing? What if I'm exactly what the room needs? What if I build confidence? What if my people are looking for me? What if it's a detachment from white supremacy culture? What if it's a completed puzzle of past decision pieces finally coming together? What if I'm a reflection of what people love about themselves? What if I'm a mirror to where they can still grow? What if my imperfect action compounds more than waiting for the perfect opportunity to arrive? What if I learn something along the way? What if others have something to learn from me? What if my spirit guides are protecting and shielding me in ways I cannot see? What if a little distance is better than chaos? What if I unlock pools of possibility? What if the next step is revealed over time? What if I'm enough? What if I'm ready right now? What if I use what's in my hands? What if I allow myself to be known? What if it's healing? What if it's nourishing? What if it's liberating? What if it's uplifting? What if it's a gift to us all? What if they wonder how I'm still standing after everything I survived? What if it's a commitment to my own growth? What if it's a dance with my ancestors? What if it's a choir of angels rejoicing because I tried? What if I recognize my patterns? What if I acknowledge my missteps without shame? What if I forgive myself? What if I forgive myself? What if I forgive myself? What if I apologize if needed? What if I listen to the lineage of love? What if I allow myself to be human? What if I believe this moment matters? What if I break a generational pattern? What if I'm proud of how I represented myself? What if I lead with kindness? What if I trust my intuition? What if I don't have to have it all figured out right now? What if I receive love? What if I give love? What if I am love? I said, what if I am love? What if I finally remember who I am?